All right, we're gonna talk about the transition for the Bedco products. And the one thing I'm gonna focus on right now is we call these the Sure Connect caps. And it has a fitting on the cap that connects to our Bedco product. Currently, this is your setup. And I'm gonna show you what you guys have right now. It's basically a tubing with what we call a stabber. And it connects right into the bucket. What we're gonna do is our buckets have the actual stabber built into the bottle, into the pail. So every time you put a new pail, this whole thing, essentially you're replacing it. In order to do the conversion is really easy. All we're gonna do is cut this line right here, right at the point of where it connects to the stabber. And then we can, at that point, dispose of this whole section. You don't need to keep it, we don't need it. And then we're gonna connect this guy to here. So let's go ahead and do that. I think, where are my scissors at? Let me get my scissors. There we go. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm not gonna do that exactly with this right now. I have created this mock-up. So it's connected here, and then pretend my stabber is here, right on this line. So now that I have my line, I'm gonna cut my line to the right length. I usually like to have a few, a little slack in case I need to move the bucket. Cut my line. And then after that, I'm gonna connect my cap, and it slides right in. It's a bar fitting, so it's not gonna go anywhere. Once it's in there, it's not gonna go anywhere. At that point, you have your connection ready to go. You open up your Bedco detergent, bleach, softener, whatever you're using, and then you just connect, screw it on there. And every time you need to replace the container, all you have to do is unscrew this one, get a new pail in there, and then reconnect this one. You're good to go. Pretty straightforward. They're color coordinated. Your red is gonna be your detergent. Typically your bleach is gonna be your green one. Your blue is your softener, right? So that's the connection here for the transition for the pail into this new system. The other thing I want to talk about is there's a couple of wear and tear items. The first one is going to be this particular tubing. If we need to replace this, all you have to do is push this connector right here, push it up, and it will release the vinyl tubing. It'll come right down. As you can see, there's a little connection here. It goes up and down. In order to put it back, all you have to do is take the vinyl tubing and slide it up, and it'll stay in place. It's not gonna go anywhere. So in order to release it again, you push that up, and the tubing will come right out. The other thing is the assembly inside the actual wheel. There's a couple of things that you're gonna find in there. The first one is gonna be your squeeze tube, and your second thing will be a wheel, right? The actual wheel, the actual dispensing wheel. These are wear and tear items. This one is probably not gonna be replaced as often, but I'm still gonna go over it. The one that is gonna wear out the most out of everything in here is gonna be the actual squeeze tube, and we'll go over how to replace that. The first thing you need to do is take off the cover. In order to do that, you push down on this lever right here, and the cover will come right off, right? Again, you push this down, cover comes right off. In order to put it back in place, there's a little latch right here. It'll slide right in place, and then you just snap it in place. Really straightforward. Okay, let's take this off. In order for us to change, here's the squeeze tube. In order for us to change that, same thing, there's a tubing, here's the way it looks. There's a little connector here. You push that down, and the whole thing comes right up. I'll show you here. So this guy right here, you got to push it down, and it'll release it. To connect it, you do the same thing. You just push it in place. It's not going anywhere unless you push down on this guy right here, and it'll release it. Pretty straightforward. How do you know if you need to replace the squeeze tube? You want to have as close to the original shape, which is cylindrical, round. A worn out squeeze tube is going to look flat, especially right around this bend. It's going to be really, really flat. that's when you know you got to replace your squeeze tube. And then the fittings, these guys, unless they break, but for the most part, you don't need to worry about these, but you can replace these as well. The other thing is the wheel pump. As you can see, I dropped the wheel. Let me get it for you guys. This is the other item that could wear out. It slides in place, and the whole plate or cover is what holds everything in its place and what makes everything function. So, I'm sorry?
Yeah, just do that one more time.
Okay.
Thank you.
This wheel just lives there. It doesn't snap, it doesn't do anything, it just slides right in place. The plate or the cover itself is what holds everything together. So to change this, once you take the cover off, take the squeeze tube out, you just slide this thing out. You can put in a new one if you need to. And then it just slides in place. There's a little flat area right here, and it has to match obviously with the opening on the wheel itself. In this case, we're gonna put everything back together. We're not gonna change the squeeze tube is fine. There's a little groove here that matches with the groove here on this part of the squeeze tube, right? So we're gonna slide the squeeze tube in that groove, wrap it around the wheel, pull on it, a nice little tug, make sure that lines up with the groove there, and now we're in place. Once we have that, we're good to go. We put our cover back on, and that's it. That's pretty much it. Again, the one item that you guys probably have to worry about the most, and it really depends on usage, is gonna be the squeeze tube. It could be every 6 months, could be, once a year. The best way to tell is, if you don't see chemical, whether it's your detergent or bleach, whatever product you're using, if you don't see it here on the line and it's not moving through, then you definitely know that squeeze tube already went bad. And obviously, if your linen you're not having the great results, chances are this thing is already acting up. Other than that, everything else it's probably going to be once a year, twice a year, depending on usage. So if any questions, reach out to let your manager know. They'll reach out to us, and we'll figure out what the other potential issues might be and how we can help you guys out.